friends, it's Maddie. I'm coming at you from a very different angle in my house. You are sitting on my desk. We are going to be tier ranking all of the books that I read in 2020. I've seen people do these. I think they look really fun. So yeah, I'm just gonna jump right into it. So I have 7 tiers here. And I'm just going to go through and tell you what they are. I mean, I think they're pretty self-explanatory, but just in case. God tier, that is top of the heap, best books, like, you know, the heavens opened up and it was like, ah, when I read them. Lives rent-free in my mind is like, it was good. Like, it's not like heavenly, it's not God tier, but like, I cannot stop thinking about it ever. Then we have pretty good, which if you watch Curb Your Enthusiasm, you know what that is.
Pretty good.
And that is exactly what it sounds like. Like, it's pretty good. Head Empty, No Thoughts is, I literally don't remember anything about this book. Not for me. It might be, the problem with, isn't necessarily with the book, it's with me not being the correct audience for it. I want to take a nap. Like that vine.
I'm taking a nap!
You want to take a nap?
I'm taking a nap here.
Okay, take a nap right there then.
Good night.
Yeah, that's that one. It's boring. And then Disgusting.
Disgusting!
And yeah, those are the worst books, right? Okay, so let's jump into it. This is so fun. Okay, so it looks like the first book we have here is The Shining. I'm just gonna pop it up here so that we can see it. And this one, God tier. I loved it. Like, it's my favorite Stephen King. God tier, automatically. Nothing else to say. An English Bred in Scotland by Lindsay Sands. Was that God tier? I'm gonna say that one lives rent-free in my mind. Like, I don't think it was the most amazing thing, but I think about it all the time. I think about the relationship in that book all the time. Flowers in the Attic. This... I feel like I almost needed a tier for, like, I recognize that they're trash, but I still really loved them anyway. Pretty good. I'm gonna put it in. Oh my god. Okay, what do we got here? Okay, Second Chance by James Patterson. Okay, yeah, so this is part of the Women's Murder Club series. I just started this really recently, and I actually just read the 3rd book as well, so that should be somewhere in here, maybe. Oh my god, I'm never gonna be able to find it. I'll just do it when it's time. I will never be able to find it. Okay, so yeah, Second Chance, I don't remember what happened in that book. I think it was good, but I don't remember it at all. So, yikes. This is The Hellbound Heart by Clive Barker, which is the book that Hellraiser is based off of. And this is good. Let me think. I think it has to live rent-free in my mind because some of the imagery in this, and if you've seen Hellraiser or read the book, you know, is just a lot. It has a lot of, like, body horror in it, and it's a lot. Dark Matter, I'm gonna put it in not for me because a lot of people did like this book, and while I didn't think it was like super boring or anything, I just didn't like it very much. Like, I think I gave it like 3 stars. It was like, it was fine. The Cheerleaders by Kara Thomas. I remember what happened in this, sort of. But it's a YA, like, thriller-y type, and it just really kind of fell apart. So I'm gonna put this in... I'm gonna put it in not for me because I'm not young adult and I would probably have enjoyed it more, like, if I was that age. Perfect Girlfriend by Karen Hamilton is going in I Want to Take a Nap because it was not a thriller. It was marked as a thriller and it was more just about this woman, like, really wanting to be with this guy. It was like, The Devil in the White City by Eric Larson is a nonfiction book, and it's about like H.H. Holmes and the Chicago World's Fair. It was kind of boring for me. I liked the H.H. Holmes parts, but the other parts were boring. So I'm gonna put that in and I Want to Take a Nap. It was kind of boring. Trick Play by Eden Finley. This is a male romance. Look at that ripped dude on that. That is like disturbing. I'm gonna say it's pretty good. It's not my favorite of that series that I've read, but it was okay. This is Frankenstein. You cannot tell at all, but I looked up what the hell this picture was because that's not the cover I have. I have the Penguin English Library editions, but you really couldn't see those on this tier ranker. I'm gonna put this in pretty good. Yeah, it was pretty good. It's not like amazing. I liked Dracula more, but yeah. Not that I need to compare the two, but I read them like back to back. Good Girl by Mary Kupika. That was pretty good. It was a thriller. It was alright. Ring Shout by P.J. Clark. This is going in God tier. I loved this book so freaking much. Oh my god. It just tackled so many things. And it was also just beautifully written, and I just loved all of the characters. And I liked the idea of like turning the KKK into something monstrous in order to like really make a point, even though like the KKK anyway is monstrous. Okay, Something Borrowed, Something Blood Soaked. I can't remember the name of the author, Cameron or Carmen something. One of these stories does live rent-free in my mind, so I'm gonna put it in there for that one story. It's the one where I think it's like a therapist works at like a drug clinic or something. That one, rent-free. Wow. Study in Scarlet is very interesting because the first half of this book is great, and then the second half is like, why are we talking about this for half the book? So yeah, I'm gonna put it in not for me because I didn't like that part, even though I did really like the book. The Bromance Book Club was pretty boring and cliche. I didn't really like that as much as some people. Yeah. The Kingmaker by, I think Kennedy Ryan is the author of the Kingmaker series. Oops. Pretty good. Yeah, it's got an interesting timeline that I like that people meet when the girl is 19 and the guy's like 21 or 22 or something like that. But they don't actually get together till way later, and it's a complicated relationship with a lot of conflict, and I really did like that. I still need to read the second book. It's like a duology type situation. The Return by Rachel Harrison. Does it look, I think pretty good. I'm gonna put it in pretty good because it's not like, oh my god, so like disturbing or interesting or whatever that it lives rent free in my mind, but pretty good. It's still like these are all, I think I got 4 stars. So this is still pretty good. Ranking. You know what? I might need to. Can I add another one? Yeah. Let's add another one for like mediocre. Is that a good? I don't know. All mine are funny, and then I just put mediocre. I don't know what to say otherwise. Like She Was Okay. Yeah, She Was Okay. I definitely think that needs to be a tier because I think that's where the Bromance Book Club would go then. She Was Okay. Yeah, okay. I had to add another tier. Sue me. Okay. You Should See Me in a Crown by Leah Johnson is God tier. It is amazing. It's a YA contemporary about this black girl who is trying to get on prom court, and there's a female-female romance. It's wonderful, adorable, 5 stars. Please read it. Iconic. Off Season by Jack Ketchum. I'm gonna put in disgusting because it is disgusting. And not in a good way for me. I know some people really it appealed to. I saw this on some people's favorite of the year, which is great. Like, good for you. I'm so happy that you enjoyed a book. But yeah, not for me. I thought it was pretty misogynistic and gross. No thanks. The First One You Expect by Adam Caesar. This was the first or second book I read this year, and everything I've read by Adam Caesar so far, I haven't read Clown in a Cornfield, has been pretty average, and I get them mixed up, and yeah. So, head empty, no thoughts. I don't even remember what it's about. Ooh, The Holdout by Graham Moore. This is a book that I haven't seen a ton of people talk about. It's a courtroomy, well, not courtroom, it's a thriller mystery about this, I guess I would classify that more as a mystery. It's about this case that had happened, let's say like 20 years ago, and all of the jurors from that case are coming back together for like a anniversary like documentary or something. And yeah, it's very interesting, and they're talking about like why they came to the conclusion that they did and who really committed the crime, perhaps. It's very interesting. So I'm gonna put that in pretty good. It was pretty good. The Wicked Deep. Oh, I wanted so much more from this book. It was, I mean, it's YA, and I think that's why it didn't go as far as I wanted it to. I'm gonna put it in She Was Okay, because there were some parts I really enjoyed, and then other parts not so much. Okay, In the Hall with the Knife by Diane Peterfront. This is one of the books, I didn't mention it before, but I'm not doing a December wrap-up because I didn't want to. And it was only like 6 books. And so a couple of those books are in here, and I'll just like highlight them and tell you. In the Hall with the Knife is like a Clue mystery. So like all the characters are named like things after Clue. Like there's this guy, Finn Plum. And then there's a girl named Orchid. There is a guy with the last name Green. It's very fun. And yeah, this was a YA mystery, and it was very, very fun. And I am going to put it in, I'm going to put it in Liz Rent Free in my mind, because I think about it all the time, because I just think the idea is freaking amazing. One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I know a lot of people don't like the like ending of this, or what the, you know, like conclusion is or whatever, but I did like it. I didn't think it was like necessarily amazing, but I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, Lock and Key. I'm gonna put these up here together, and then I'll talk about them together. This is Lock and Key Volume 1 and Volume 2. I read these both this year. I really do enjoy this series. Yeah, I just think it's crazy. It's gory. It's a graphic novel series about these kids whose like parent or like dad died, so then they go on to live in this like old house here, and they find keys, and each of them does different things. And that's all I'm really gonna tell you. I don't want to spoil too much, but I think the first one was pretty good, and I think the second one lives rent free in my mind. The head key in this is like, I think about that all the time, and like I kind of wish I had a head key sometimes so I could, you know, remove thoughts from my head or put better ones in there sometimes. Okay, Knit One Girl Two. This is a really short, cute novella, and yeah, it was pretty good. It's about these women who knit. I'm a knitter, so like it's female, and it's about knitting, so like it was like right up my alley. Killing Creek by Rachel Kane. This is the second book in this series. Second book? I think it's the second book. The first one's Stillhouse Lake. This is good. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I don't think I'm gonna finish the series, because I think I read the 2 that I read. I think I've only read 2 of them. I can't even remember. But I don't think it needs any more. I really don't. I don't need any more from it. I thought the ending of the storyline was fine, and I don't know why I would need more books in that series. So I probably won't read anymore. But it's good. It's good. I personally don't need anything else from the series. Okay, Wild by Cheryl Strayed. This is one of the few memoirs I read this year. I don't know how I feel about Cheryl Strayed as a person. Like, she's kind of, I'm not sure. I like Dear Sugar, which is a column that she wrote for a while, and there was a podcast, and I used to listen to that a lot. So yeah, I don't always agree with her advice and stuff, but I think that this book is amazing. And I think about it all the time. I want it there. I think about it all the time, and I am not someone who, I've hiked before, and there's a mountain here that we go hiking at sometimes, but I wouldn't consider myself someone who could do something like the Pacific Crest Trail, although she had no training either. But it made me want to do that. and I've never done that before, so there may be a hiking vacation in my future, you know, in non-COVID times. Cersei's God tier. Do I have to say anything? I love this book. I love this book so much. I love the character of Cersei. The audiobook is like life-changing. Oh my god. It's wonderful. I think Cersei is such a wonderful character. I care deeply about her. Everything that she goes through is just... I loved being there for the ride with her. What the hell is this? Oh, I think it's the picture of Dorian Gray. Oh god. She lives rent-free in my mind. I love this book. I don't love it. I don't know. I gave it 4 stars and I feel like I need to reread it because I just feel like I've thought about it so much since then. Like all the time. And I had to write something for a class I was in, a Gothic Lit class I was in this past semester. And I was just like, I didn't reread it for the class because I had just read it. So I was like, I'm not going to reread it. But now I want to reread it. It's so good. So good. Get a Life Chloe Brown is the first in a series of 3 romances that all follow a different sister. And Get a Life Chloe Brown, she's like a chronically ill, what does she have, like fibromyalgia, I think? I can't remember, but and it's a romance. It was just okay for me. I don't think it's as amazing as everyone else says. I do have Take a Hint, Danny Brown, because people said that was better, and I'm interested in giving that a go. Okay, then we have The Hound of the Baskervilles by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. I really liked this one. I'm gonna put that in pretty good. Yeah, it's my favorite Sherlock Holmes I've read. I've only read 2, but it's my favorite one of the 2 that I've read. So, highly recommend. It's like got spooky vibes and it's pretty short, so I recommend it. Dracula lives rent-free in my mind. I think about it all the time. All the time. It's wonderful. I really like the epistolary format of it. It's told in like journals and letters and things. I really do like that. I do wish we had more Dracula in it. Like, I want all the Dracula. Ugh. The Woods Are Dark by Richard Lehman. Disgusting. It's gross. Not in a good way. He like talks about women's nipples like the whole entire book. This is Who'd Have Thought by I think G. Benson. It's a female romance about a doctor and a nurse, and they get like fake married for some reason, and then of course, you know, they fall in love. It was okay. It was alright. The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James. This is one of my favorite books of the year. God tier. I really liked the haunting in this. I liked the characters. Yeah, huge fan. I gave both of Simone St. James books 5 stars this year. Both of them that I read, and I need to go back and find out from her what else I haven't read. Okay, On Thin Icing and Caught Red-Handed are both parts of the Bake Shop Mystery Series by Ellie Alexander. I'm going to put On Thin Icing, this is book, I think, 3, and this is book 4. I'm going to put On Thin Icing in pretty good because I did really like that one. I'm putting the Caught Red-Handed and She Was Okay because it was more about a relationship in the books than it was about the mystery that they were solving, and I was like, eh. The Mermaid's Night by Jill Miles, I think it says. This, I remember what this is about, but I don't remember any of my feelings. Like, it just happened. I wish it didn't. Oh, The Sea of Monsters by Rick Riordan. This is from the Percy Jackson series, and I love Percy Jackson. I love him. I'm hoping to finish this series in 2021. That would be a goal of mine. We'll see. Oh, yay, Local Haunts. This is a booktube anthology, so it's a bunch of horror booktubers wrote stories for this, and then it was, you know, collected and bound up into this collection, Local Haunts. I loved this so much. It's not often that I'm gonna put it in live rent free in my mind, by the way, because some of these stories are like in there. It's not often that I rate an anthology anything more than like 3 or 3.5 stars, just because when you have all these different authors, you don't always work well with all of them. And the majority of these I liked. There were a couple stories I DNF'd. You can go look at my Goodreads review. I'll link My Goodreads is always linked down below, but I could link this specific review down below so that you can look at it and, you know, get an idea of which stories I liked and which ones I didn't like. But of course, read them all for yourself. And you can get, I think I got this on Kindle for a couple dollars. Or I think you can buy a physical copy. But, you know, Kindle's always a good way to support authors. They do get money from that. Okay, One Last Dance by, I think, Anna Stone. It was really boring. Really, really boring. It's a ballet romance. And there's no conflict at all. It was not for me. Every Heart a Doorway by Shauna McGuire. This is part of the Wayward Children series. You know, people love this series. I thought this one was pretty good. I've never read any of the other books in the series. I reread this to start the series, and that was like, I don't know, I think that was this month, and I just haven't picked up Down Among the Sticks and Bones yet, but I just didn't, I mean, it's good, but I don't know, I just didn't think there was enough. Oh, Compass Rose by Anna Burke. This is a really underrated book that I found on Hoopla through my library, and I really did love it. It is like a pirate mercenary type story. It's very reminiscent of the vibes I got from The Long Way to a Small Hungry Planet by Becky Chambers. And I'm going to say lives rent free in my mind because I think about it a lot. It was just one of those books that surprised me. Oh my gosh, Scavenger Hunt by Christopher Pike. This book is wild. I did not know where this book was gonna go when I was reading it, but I really, really did enjoy it. It's crazy though. I'm gonna put it in pretty good. It's just so funny. Okay, Proper English by KJ Charles. This is my favorite, as far as right now, I think this is my favorite female romance I've ever read. It's a historical one, and it is wonderful, and I'm gonna put it in God tier because it deserves it, and I think more people need to read it. Don't be thrown off by this, you know, not amazing cover. That happens a lot with smaller published romance. Don't let that throw you off. Oh, I'm Not Your Final Girl by Claire C. Holland. This is a collection of poetry about final girls or like female characters in horror movies. And I loved it so much. I loved it so much I used it for a final project in my poetry class in May. I'm going to put it in God tier. I loved it so much. It has like Rosemary's Baby inspired ones, Jess from Black Christmas, I think Sally from Texas Chainsaw. I think it was on Kindle Unlimited when I got it, but I highly recommend you read it. Oh, can I change the color of this? I didn't even realize that was a different color. Oh. No. Okay, next is In a Holidays by Christina Lauren. I just read this really recently. It's like a time travel or like a reliving the same day over and over again at Christmas time. I put it in She Was Okay. It was not as Christmassy as you would think from this cover. And then they didn't use the time travel enough in my opinion. Okay, then we have The Fear by Spencer Hamilton. Disgusting. If you want to know why, go look at my worst books of the year. Orphan Island. This is a middle grade book about these kids. There's like 9 kids who are always on this island, and they just get sent there, and they really don't know why. And then when they turn a certain age, the oldest, or every year, the oldest one leaves the island when a new one comes. And yeah, that's the story. I just think it wasn't for me. It's a middle grade, and I just didn't get out of it what I was hoping for. So, not really this book's fault, more my fault than anything else, because I'm not a child anymore. Just changing the colors on these real quick because it's bothering me. Okay, much better. Don't ask me why. Okay, What Lies Between Us by John Mars. I'm going to put it in disgusting because I did not like the mental health representation in this. I thought it was really fucked up, and yeah, we don't need to demonize mental illness anymore in society. It's already pretty bad, so I don't need my books to do that too. This is The Amityville Horror by Jay Anson. It's boring. It's really boring. Just go watch the movie. Oh yay, this is Stay Out of the Basement. This is a Goosebumps, the second Goosebumps books. I've restarted reading these and I'm really, really loving it. And Stay Out of the Basement is always rent-free in my mind. Ever since I first saw the Goosebumps TV show about it, it's always been rent-free in my mind. Okay, Poirot Investigates. I think it was just not for me. I'm not big on the short stories in that. The Tenant by Katrine Enberg. This is going to go in disgusting because the main male character in this is literally so gross. So gross. Okay, I'm Not Dying with You Tonight. The author is Kimberly something. I can't remember. This is a book about these two teens, and there's like a fight breaks out at like a football game, and they're trying to just like get out of there alive. And it was boring. Somehow, it was boring. Somehow. Oh my gosh, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones. Yes, it lives rent-free in my mind. I didn't think it was perfect, so I can't put it in God tier. Not that these books are all perfect. I didn't think, well, they're pretty close. There were some things I didn't love, but oh my god, I literally have not stopped thinking about this book since I read it, so you should pick it up, like, now. Autumn Crow by Cameron Chaney. This is a collection of stories that all take place in this town of Autumn Crow, where it's always Halloween. I'm gonna put that in pretty good. There were just a couple stories I didn't love in there. I Killed Zoe Spanos is a YA mystery that came out this year. It's about this girl who had died, and then this other girl is like a nanny there, and she thinks, a lot of people tell her that she looks like this girl, and she just like gets really in deep with it, and there's like a podcast element, I think, too. She was okay. It was really good in the first half, and then once I started like finding out what was going on, I was just like, really? Okay. Night of the Mannequins by Stephen Graham Jones is God tier. It also lives in my mind rent-free, but it is God tier. I loved it so much. It was one of my favorite books of the year. I will link that video down below if you would like to watch it. Check it out. Talk about my top 10. Oh, The Fisherman by John Langan. This is a book that I was just sad that didn't quite crack into my top 10 because I really did love this book and I wanted to talk about it, but oh my goodness, it goes in rent-free. This book has like a story within a story element, which I know is something that a lot of people didn't like because it's literally like 70% of the book, but I loved it. I thought it was weird and just really weird, but I loved it. It was fantastical. Really love it. Okay, The Hot Zone by Richard Preston. Oh my gosh, this video is gonna be long. That's okay. The Hot Zone by Richard Preston. This is a book about Ebola and like a crisis that happened in the 90s with Ebola, and you know, with this pandemic and everything, that book lives rent-free in my mind. I read it in March after the pandemic was like a big thing in America. Yes. Should I have? Probably not. Oops. Well, where did that go? What happened to it? Oh, there it is. Wow. Okay, Murder on the Links by Agatha Christie. This is just one of her Poirots. I don't think it was super memorable, but I thought it was pretty good. The Unhoneymooners by Christina Lauren was a really fun, like, rom-com type book. And I'm going to say it was pretty good. Because it was. How the Light Gets In by Louise Penny. This is the 9th book in the Chief Inspector Armand Gamache series, and I loved it. This is my favorite book in the series so far. I loved the progress that was made on some of the relationships in it, and I thought the mystery was really interesting too. Okay, so we have A Court of Thorns and Roses and A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I definitely think that A Court of Mist and Fury is better. It is God tier in my mind. And Court of Thorns and Roses is pretty good. I think that the end part of it is the best part of it. So, you know, if you're in it and you're trying to, you're not sure if you like it, I would say keep going because it does get better. The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet by Becky Chambers is God tier. It was my second favorite book this year. Spoiler alert. Dead to Her by Sarah Pinborough was so boring. It was so boring. I was sad. I do like Sarah Pinborough. A Stranger on the Beach by Michelle Campbell. Boring. The Winter People by Jennifer McMahon. I just thought this one was okay. I'm not sure what I'm missing that other people love so much. But it wasn't for me. Ooh, One by One by Ruth Ware. This one is... A lot of people aren't loving this because it's definitely more mystery than thriller. So, you know, if you're looking for high stakes and high pressure, I wouldn't recommend this book for you. I would read different Ruth Ware or somebody else. But I did really like this book. So I'm going to put it in pretty good. Pretty good. The Sum of the Stars by Alicia Dow. This is a book I read earlier, like in the summertime, just as like a one-off to break up something else I was reading. I can't remember, but I just thought it was okay. It had a lot to do with this like boy band for some reason and music, and that, like, I like music and stuff, but it's not like a huge plot point that I like look for in books. So not my favorite. Oh, Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo lives rent-free in my mind. This is so good. It's hard-hitting. It's about two sisters who find out that the other one exists after their dad dies in a plane crash. And yeah, gut-wrenching. And I really do love the it's written in verse. I do love that. The Wives by Taryn Fisher. Ma'am. No, ma'am. It's not boring. I guess disgusting, because it does the demonizing mental illness thing again, and I'm just like, it was really good in the beginning, and then I was like, what the fuck, after like half of the book. Rosemary's Baby by Ira Levin is god tier. The book and the movie, iconic. Watch them both. The Guest List by Lucy Foley was super boring. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Rust and Stardust by, I think her name's T. Greenwood, lives rent-free in my mind. It's a fictionalized account of the true story that Lolita's based off of. The girl's name was Sally Horner, and yeah, it's gut-wrenching. And I think about it all the time, unfortunately. Dead of Winter by Keelan Patrick Burke. This is an anthology, or I guess a short story collection of his own work. They're all winter themes. Thought it was pretty good. The Cove by Catherine Coulter. This is like a romantic suspense that I just read because I had Audible Escape for like 2 months, and this was under there. It was alright. She was okay. The Safe Place by Anna Downs. This is a thriller that came out this year. It was alright. Okay, these are the 3 Sookie Stackhouse books. And I am not going to be continuing this series because I will link down below. Joshana made videos about the series, and I think it's very important to watch them and understand that the representation, they suck ass. So, let's see. But rating them just as like how I liked them, I think Dead Until Dark was okay. No, wait. Dead Until Dark, sorry, was pretty good. Living Dead in Dallas was okay. And then Club Dead was good. But I'm not going to continue. Binti, I am thinking this book is not for me. The more I've thought about it, the more I just think it's not for me. It's not my type of story that I want, which is okay. But I think it's good, but it's not for me. Does that make sense? This is Night Shift by Stephen King. This is a collection of his short stories, and they were pretty good. I enjoyed that one. The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This is my favorite book by them. I think that their other 2 books are not worth reading. Even though this one isn't my favorite, I think it's the only one that is worth reading. And I'm going to put it in... she was okay. This is a Served Hot, and what does it say? Annabeth Albert is the author. This is a male novella about this guy who works at like this little coffee stand. It was fine. It was fine. Oops. I like them being in order that I put them in here. I don't know why. Like I said, You Are Not Alone by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. This was not good. It was boring. Convenience Store Woman by Sayaka Murata. This is about this woman who works in a convenience store, and she loves it, and she's okay with that. And yeah, that lives rent free in my mind. I think about Keiko, who is the main character, all the time. Moon Called by Patricia Briggs. This is an beginning of an urban fantasy series, the Mercy Thompson series. And you know, it's not like, it's only the first book, and I think it's very introductory, so I can't wait to read more from it, but I'm gonna put it in pretty good. I'm sure the stories get better as they go along. This is The Highway by C.J. Box. This is like a thriller. My mom gave this to me and wanted me to read it, so I did, and I thought it was really actually pretty good. I wouldn't read any more in this series because I didn't really like the detective, but the actual story was pretty good. It's about this guy who uses his like long haul truck to kill people. Like, that's how he moves around and gets his victims and stuff. The Ritual by Adam Neville. Oh god, the first half of this book was 5 stars. Amazing. I loved it so much. And then, oh my god, I didn't realize my hair looked like that. Oh well. And then the second half was garbage. So I'm gonna put it in She Was Okay, because that seems like a good middling review. The Bride Test by Helen Huang. This is a contemporary romance about, it's kind of like a mail order bride situation. It's really cute. I really did like it, and I'm gonna put it in pretty good. Ooh, The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is God tier. Nope, right there. God tier. I loved this book. I really do love Grady Hendrix. I'm excited to try out. I've read 2 of his books. I'm excited to try out more of his stuff. This is Red Dragon by Thomas Harris. This is the first book in the Hannibal Lecter series, and wow, what a good start to the series. Some of the stuff in there I just think about all the time, and I think about Will Graham all the time. I miss him from the TV show. I miss the Hannibal TV show. When that was on, life was good. Okay, Survivor Song by Paul Tremblay. I thought was pretty good. I think a lot of people really did not like this book this year because it was kind of a slow-paced story, but I did really like it a lot. The Hunger by Amakatsu. This is about the Donner Party. So it lives rent-free in my mind. The Donner Party in general lives rent-free in my mind. Yikes. Okay, next we have The Broken Girls by Simone St. James. This is also God tier. Both of her books are God tier. They're both amazing. I highly recommend them. If you like gothic, ghosty type stories, read them. Oh, Just Mercy by Brian Stevenson. This book is sort of like a memoir about him creating the Equal Justice Initiative and dealing or helping men who are on death row. Predominantly black men, I believe, but men on death row. And the work he does is just, it's amazing. If you need a charity to donate to, I recommend the Equal Justice Initiative. That is where I send my money frequently. And I'm gonna put it in God tier because the book is amazing. I mean, you gotta be ready for some gut-wrenching stuff because inevitably they can't save everyone, so some men do die. And you know, there isn't enough evidence. I don't believe in the death penalty anyway, but we don't need to talk about that. Monster She Wrote is a collection that is talking about female like horror and horror adjacent, like speculative type authors in history, and it gives you like a brief little write-up about them and some of their books. It was pretty good. I don't like, it's not like a definitive like biography of all these women, but I thought for what it was doing, it's pretty good. Scythe by Neil Shusterman just barely didn't make it into my top of the year. It's God tier. I loved it so much. I need to pick up Thunderhead. Maybe my TBR will be happy to me, or will be kind to me, and I will get to read it. Next is Miracle Creek by Angie Kim. This is like a courtroom mystery, and I liked it a lot. Does it live rent-free in my mind, or is it God tier? It's God tier. Yep, she's God tier. Oh, The Other People by CJ Tudor is... okay. It was fine. Not her best. Eleanor Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. Oh my god, I loved Eleanor so much. I loved this story. I loved getting to know her. I highly recommend this. This is one of those books that like everyone was reading, and like, you know, like Reese Witherspoon I think picked it for her like book club, and so I'm always like, those aren't the types of book for me. This one was. It's god tier. I loved it. Eleanor Oliphant was one of my favorite characters this year. Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. I'm not gonna say it's disgusting, but it was boring because I knew the story. Within the story, the ghost story was just Amityville Horror, and then I thought that the main character was really boring, so I didn't care about what she was doing at all. Vacation by T.M. Logan was also boring. This is one of those thrillers where it's more about like, is my husband cheating on me? Which is not a thriller to me. It's just like, go to therapy. I don't know. Summer of a Thousand Pies. This is a middle grade about this girl whose dad, I don't remember if he has drug problems or I can't remember, but he can't take care of her. So she goes to stay with an aunt who owns a pie shop, and yeah, she, you know, is allowed to live sort of a childhood that she's supposed to have, and it was really wonderful. And I'm gonna say it lives rent-free in my mind because I think about that little girl all the time, and I just think that story was wonderful. Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson, I think. This is a YA mystery, but oh my god, it was so good. God tier. Best YA mystery I've read, right? Oh god, please don't tell me I just contradicted myself. Oh, it's the best one I read this year. I love to make blanket statements like that and then realize like 10 minutes later I was totally wrong. Stranger in the House by Shiri Lupino was super boring. No thank you. My Sister the Serial Killer by Onyakin Braithwaite. This is a really cool a book. It's like kind of told in vignettes about this girl whose sister is a serial killer, and her sister keeps asking her to clean up her messes. And I would say it was pretty good. Pretty good. Midnight Dance. Who even knows? I think I skimmed that book, but I counted it because I was tortured by it. The Nickel Boys by Colson Whitehead lives in my mind rent-free. It's so sad. It's like about this boys' school in Florida. It's based on like a real place, but they send like trouble boys there, but it's really not a school. It's like a detention camp kind of situation. Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. I'm gonna put it lives rent-free in my mind. If you know, you know. I'll never think about mushrooms the same way again, and I'm somebody who didn't like mushrooms anyway, so now one more reason not to like mushrooms. Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston is pretty good. I think at the beginning of the year I would have said it was god tier, but the further distance I have from it, I think it might not be as good as I thought it was. I'm finding that with a lot of books, so I am going to try to figure out, well, I have an idea for a new rating system I want to try out, so stay tuned for my TBR tomorrow, if I get this edited fast enough. Okay, this is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. I reread this book every year around Christmas time. This year I listened to an audiobook by Jim Dale, and I really did love it. And yeah, it's god tier. I listen to it every year. Come on. Oh shit. I didn't tell you what the rest of the books that I read this month were. Now I can't remember. Okay, so the ones I finished this year or in December were In a Holidays by Christina Lauren, Every Hearted Doorway by Shawnee McGuire, oh, The Only Good Indians by Stephen Graham Jones, A Christmas Carol, In the Hall with the Knife, and then one that's down here that I'll talk about, this one right here, later. Okay, next is Into the Water by Paula Hawkins. This was confusing. And I don't even remember how it ended. It was just incredibly confusing. Head empty, no thoughts. There were too many point of view characters, and I can't even remember how it ended. Which is sad. Okay, The Dry by Jane Harper. This is a good, like, detective history. Pretty good. The Dead Zone by Stephen King. Oh, I wanted to like this so much more than I did. I just think it had too much it didn't connect the two storylines well enough. I did not think. Some of it in She Was Okay. This is the last, it's like a short little Christmas novella. It's called like One Snowy Night or something, and it was fine. I don't know. It's just about like two people who knew each other getting together. Whatever. Between the World and Me by Ta-Nehisi Coates. This is a nonfiction, like a letter to his son about being Black in America and growing up Black in America and, you know, stuff like that, like his experiences in life, and I really, really loved it. So God tier, very good. The audiobook, he reads it himself. It's very, very good. Oh, and then Goosebumps, A Welcome to Dead House. Not as good as, what is it called? Oh, Stay Out of the Basement. Not as good. It was all right. Okay. Okay, so that is it. Oh my goodness. See, you can see how many books I have in my God tier section. It was so hard for me to narrow these down into my top 10 from my, you know, of the year. And they're all, my top 10s are in here, I think. Oh God. Hold on. Yeah, all my top 10s are there. I had to make sure, but I don't know why they wouldn't be. So yeah, this let's do a little scroll so you can see. These are my God tier. Lives Rent Free in my mind and pretty good. And then the second section, Head Empty, No Thoughts, She Was Okay, Not For Me, I Want to Take a Nap, and Disgusting. So that is what I thought of all of the books I read this year. This video is going to be incredibly long. I'm so sorry, but also not, because it was super fun. Hey, so thank you so much for watching, especially if you made it all the way to the end of this video. I greatly appreciate you, and I will see you tomorrow for our last day of Bookmas, where we are going to do my January TBR. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.